Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So
Hello. It's nice to have you on today, Sharon. And we're celebrating, or should I say celebrating, or it's a sensitization of International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. Yeah,
okay,
you're
thank you,
welcome.
Max. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Great. So, firstly, we'll be talking about like racial stereotypes and what we experience about racism, why it is even a topic to begin with. What do you think about it?
Um, I think it's something that most of us, not everyone, grew up with. I mean, it starts at home usually. How our parents and relatives look at other races and how they comment about them. But it doesn't have to stay that way.
Yeah.
Everyone's, born into a family and they can also decide how do they want to look at other people. Do they want to continue this racial stereotyping or do they want to change and make a change in this world and make it better? Like I feel like we need to change. We really do.
I,
Um,
I totally agree with that.
yeah.
Totally agree. Okay.
So, um, I think you wanted to ask me about some of the experiences that I had with it that I noticed in the past years.
Okay.
And one of them was I had found an audio app. It was a North American audio app that included Canada and America. And we were getting people from to join the app from different countries. And I noticed that when I was in some of the rooms in this audio app, that the host would, as soon as they heard an accent of the person coming into the room for the first time, they would ask where the person was from. And as soon as the person would say, I'm from Nigeria, boop, out the door.
Oh
And
my
I was
God.
like, why did you kick, this person out the door? They said, oh, they're all scammers. These people are coming in to scam. The people were saying they were Nigerian or Ghanaian. And that was what, you know, this is what apparently North Americans are thinking of Nigerians and Ghanaians.
Oh,
So this is a very common racial stereotype in
stereotype.
America. Yeah, and
Exactly.
in Canada. So I thought to me, this was wrong. So in my room, my idea was to invite them in, make them feel comfortable, and try to integrate them into my room. Even my room was rejecting the fact that I was trying to integrate them and giving me a lot of headache. They would text me in the background trying to tell me, no, 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 don't let them in. They're scammers. I'm like, how do you know? Everybody's a scammer now from a different country. So I said, just let's try, So my idea was to everything always goes easier with humor, right? So
Yeah.
my idea was to make jokes. So that is what I pretty much did. Um, I don't know if I'll tell you some of the jokes, but anyways, they worked. Let's just put it that way.
Nice.
And pretty soon, you would see them more comfortable to come up on stage in the room and start talking with the people. And they started asking each other about what is, the weather, the food, how do you live, this, that, and the other thing. And this is what I really
Yeah.
was happy to see, instead of not even getting a chance to join the room and being kicked out immediately.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was one I noticed.
That's totally
I,
great. Like
mhm.
given a chance, because I mean, the stereotype is real, and classing all member of a country like to be a certain way is totally stereotypical, and
Yeah.
of course, not everyone is that. Even though a few can look like so much sometimes, and put up that bad image, and that leads to people thinking a certain type of way.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Um,
how was your experience on the audio app when you started letting people were from other countries, like
Hmm.
Nigeria and Ghana, on your room, did you experience what people were actually thinking it to be, or was it different?
Okay, so it really started going well. People were, of course, guarded and cautious, as they should be. I mean, you can't just trust anybody right away, as you even
Yeah,
shouldn't trust someone from your own country right away. So we're
yeah.
all strangers to each other in this audio app. But actually, we did get a few people who were questionable and trying to scam in the rooms. And what we would do is just go around telling, this one here, he's up to no good. And so we would block him from these rooms. So then he would just have to leave the app because there would be nowhere for him to go. But
Yeah.
yeah. But as soon as we caught them, then yeah, they would be. But we always gave everyone a chance, at least in my room. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. So
So
what about like in your country? I mean, there are Nigerians over there too, Ghanaians, people from other country. Um,
Egypt,
what is
Saudi
Egypt?
Arabia,
Yeah,
Iraq, all different countries were coming.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there like a different notion? Uh,
Well, a lot of them, their English wasn't very good. So sometimes they came just to learn English, better, to
okay,
be sitting in a room of people who are from America and Canada,
okay.
who they can hear how, we say things and, learn idioms and things like that. So yeah,
All right.
it would help them in getting a job in the future, in the States or in Canada or anywhere, like even in UK. It'd be very, very beneficial for them to know English better than they did.
Okay.
So that's another reason they were coming to this app.
Okay.
But
All right. Thank you so much for insight. We're going next to other segments
okay.
of this session. And the next one is the systematic racism, because, it goes deep down, because just like people are trying to be sure of what is and what's not, and the question here is, how can we remove racial bias in laws and institutions?
Um, Honestly, I don't know much about the laws for racism, but I will share that I feel that when a person is applying for a job, I don't feel like they should have to put what race they are. I mean,
Right.
right there, the
Right there.
employer
Yeah.
is setting up for racism.
Okay.
They're not
Right.
allowing, if that person is racist, they're being judgmental already
Already.
as to
Yeah.
who they want to hire. Do they want to hire black, white, Asian, whatever, Mexican, Latin? So yeah, I don't think that's right. I think that should be stopped right there.
Right.
You know.
Right. I agree. I agree. I agree. Race should be human.
Hmm. Yeah, it should be human, not black, white. Yeah, this or
Yeah.
that.
I
So I
agree
think
with
that's
that.
one way we can start it. And as far as anything else, I really don't know the laws well enough. So
Right.
yeah, to
That
say
works.
so.
That works.
Yeah.
That works. All right. We'll go right to the next. So this is on bridging economic gaps. And the question here is, what can be done to reduce racial inequality in jobs, education, and healthcare?
Okay. Um, well, personally, I'm a nurse
Wow,
and
nice.
I I I did have quite a few people that were of all different races, on a regular basis. So to me, I mean, and to most of us, we just look at each person as another patient. We don't think,
Yeah.
okay, this one's this color, that color. I
Hmm.
very, I didn't very often find a very racist nurse. Um, I think that's why we go into that employment, is because we have a compassionate and empathetic heart. we don't think of people as race. We think of them
Nice.
as, a person who needs our help. And that's what we're there to do. We're there to help them, not to judge them on their race. So, but
Awesome.
it happens. I can't say it doesn't happen now and then in what I've seen, but
I
yeah.
mean, it's better, right?
hmm
Nice. Right.
And I mean, 80% of a patient getting better is encouraging them emotionally,
Emotionally, yeah.
psychologically, and all that, so that
Yeah.
they can want to even get better. And if you're going to be racist against this person, how in the world can they possibly get better? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you so much. That's a lot
Mhm.
of insight there. Um, nice response. Um, all right. We'll just go right to the next. Fair representation in media. How does media
Mm.
shape racial views, and how can diversity be improved? You know, like
Mhm.
when we say media, I would like to talk about like social media because that's the most used media these days. That it's interactive for both all users, and
Mhm.
I'm going to speak of my experience, just like what you were saying on the audio app when we're talking about the stereotype and people not wanting
Mhm.
to talk to a certain type of people because of how they
Yeah.
think it to be. So how can we like just like what you did, creating a room of yours where people of other tribes could actually like come up and you could hear them out, even if there were possibilities that the stereotypes were true. you know
Mhm.
you could still like learn about the food, learn about how they think, uh the ideology and all of those things. How can we get
Mhm.
more people to think the way you think, like giving people the chance to sell themselves in a positive light. If possible, they could be positive.
Yeah. I think what I've found is that you find something that all of the different races or groups like to do. And I found that they like to play games together online. So
Nice.
there is a game that we like to play. It's called Code Names. And we
Nice.
get people from all different countries loving to play this game. And we play it in
Yeah.
English. So at this time, we're learning so much about each other's culture because in this game, clue words will be given from person from different countries. Each time we'll rotate to different people from different countries, and we'll be learning all the time about, okay, this word was a word about a meal, maybe such as an Indian meal like biryani, or
Mm.
maybe jollof rice, or from, Africa, or, so many of us might not have ever known about these foods or
Yeah.
about these things. And this is a chance for us to share now our culture and, get together on something without focusing on the fact that we're different colors or different, how we were brought up, and that we're just focusing on learning about each other and having a good time doing it. Is a game after all, we're having
Yeah.
fun together with different
Yeah.
cultures. And I think games online are just the best for including all different races and
Racist.
sharing about each other's cultures. So yeah,
Amazing.
that's would be my answer for that one.
That's a great
Mhm.
answer. I play code
Thank you.
names too. That's a
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good game.
Actually, that's where I met you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
nice. So
actually,
have you
what's
had
really funny?
had jollof rice? Have you ever had it before?
Yes, I have, and to me, it's very hot, spicy hot. Yeah,
Now this in
yeah,
Africa. There's like comparisons like Ghana jollof and Nigerian jollof. Have you?
yes. And I hear, I hear the two just saying whose is better,
Better, right?
Nigerian or Ghanaian. Yeah, I hear that all the time.
Have you had a taste of them like differently?
No, not each, just
Not
the
yet, right?
Nigerian. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Nigerian's leading already. All right.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. So the next one is stopping racial violence, what steps can prevent hate crimes and discrimination? Because in the real sense of
Mm.
it, I think about it like sometimes some countries can be xenophobic because this even in Africa, there was a period
Uh-huh.
when South Africa was xenophobic to like Nigeria or some other country is xenophobic to another
Right.
country. Like they just can't keep up with themselves, stuff like that. How do you think people can like, you know, put up with themselves and understand that okay, we're all humans, even though ideologies could be different, but like we could all live above that. And what do you think about
Hmm.
it?
Honestly, I really want you to answer this one. I I just don't know. I mean, it's so hard
It's
to
hard, right?
know how to solve this problem. It's a very serious one. That is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When
So
it
it
comes to
takes
violence,
effort.
that's just too much. And
Yeah,
we have to keep it from getting to that level, is what it
yeah.
is.
It is
So
what it is.
we have to teach our children from very young
Mm-hmm,
to,
mm-hmm.
accept, everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah.
That's I think that's the way to go. That's the answer right
Yeah.
there. Because I mean, if we can change ourselves, we should be able to teach the future
The new
generation.
generation.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's the way to go. That's the way to go.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
lastly, we would be sitting on promoting unity and respect. Because I mean, that should be the bedrock. Just like you already said about the future generation, it's more like propagating or uh, unity. So
Hmm.
how can different cultures work together to fight racism?
Well, um, how about this? How about different countries getting together and working on a project such as hunger
Mm,
or something like this? Uh, I've seen this work before in the app that we both go to, and
mm-hmm.
where UK people and Americans and that we're working with Nigerians and Ghanaians on, you know, creating a place where there were funds for people to be able to buy food at a less expensive rate,
Nice.
even have food donated to them who are desperately really in need. So that's one thing I can see where different countries could work together and different
Mm.
cultures could work together on helping. And I mean, there's people even in the United States who could use this kind of help, so they can also work for that. But yeah, I mean,
That's a good angle. That's a good
yeah,
angle.
we have
Mm.
very well the same situations here, believe it or not, in the United States. So, but not
Yeah.
quite the same. But you know what I mean. There's
Yeah.
desperate people needing
There are
help.
different projects also like
Hmm.
because if you look at it, there are also people that are like well to do in Africa.
As
Um,
well, yes,
yeah,
and they can also help.
they
I
could
know.
also help, and they could
So,
also even work on projects that help people or create services that
uh,
could be of help globally, create software applications, uh, you know, that could help the world be a better place
right,
generally. I agree with you on the project because there's a lot to be done. There's a lot of technologies, there's a lot of systems to be built, and you know there are different elites. There are a lot of elites in UK, a lot of elites in US, and there are some elites also in Africa that could also work with the elites over there or over here to create systems that generally helps the human race. Um,
right.
I believe you agree with that, right?
Yes, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
It's been totally amazing having this session with you. We're getting to the we're already at the end of this session, the
Okay,
conclusion,
Max.
and yeah,
Oh, thank you
it's
for
been
inviting me
interesting.
and,
Yeah,
enlightening me too in some areas that I could be more helpful, to create, unity with other
yeah.
cultures. Yeah.
I would love to learn also the different cultures, different. There's a lot of
Yeah.
diversity globally, but what keeps us together is still the race because it's a human race. We all have hands, we all have teeth, we all have legs, we all have
Mhm.
eyes. It's all the same. Just the ideology that over time would emerge and should be able to think as one.
Right. And you're involved in music, and I think music also joins people together, which is a
Yeah,
great thing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Thank you so much. Thank you
all
so
right.
much. Yeah, I will reach out to you in the future for more collaborations and projects like this that will
All right.
propagate unity.
Okay. Thank you, Max. Thanks
It's
for
been a
inviting
pleasure.
me.
It's
It's
been a
been a pleasure
pleasure.
to be with you. So, okay. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.